Job 42, 10 through 11. After Job had prayed for his friends, the Lord made him prosperous again and gave him twice as much as he had before. All his brothers and sisters and everyone who had known him before came and ate with him in his house. They comforted and consoled him over all the trouble the Lord had brought upon him. And each one gave him a piece of silver and a gold ring. Once more again, after Job had prayed for his friends, the Lord made him prosperous again. Say again. Again. And gave him twice as much as he had before. Yeah. Walking into your destiny. Walking into your destiny. 2010 is a year of redemption. And why is that so important? Why is that so important to the believer? Well, the word redemption comes from the word redeem, which is the act of getting back the ownership of something and recovering of something that was once taken away from you. And I don't know about you, but in 2009, there was a lot of things that slipped out of my grasp. In 2009, there's a lot of things that I saw. There's a lot of things that I had an opportunity to partake of. And once I got right there, once I got like in the midst of it, all of a sudden, it was just snatched away from me. And God is saying that tonight that this year, 2010, is the year of redemption. This is the year that we are going to start recovering a lot of the things that Satan stole from us. Amen? Amen. Amen. And there are so many things that we can go on, and we stand up and just begin to testify. There's so much, and there's so many ways that Satan tried to attack us. But thank God we made it. Amen? Amen. Amen. Thank God we made it through 2009. Thank God that we are here in 2010. And this is the year of redemption. Say redemption. Redemption. This is the year of redemption. This is the year that we're going to take back what Satan stole from us. Amen? Amen.
So I alluded to, and I'll go ahead and ask the question right now. What does it mean to be you to the full? This is the title of this conference. What does it mean for us to say that we are being ourselves to the full? I hope by the end of the night we can get to that. I hope by the end of the night I will have answered that question with what I believe the Bible would say about such a topic. But for now, let's define this more broadly, okay? Just for the time being, let's define this a little more broadly. I think fundamentally, at its very root, being you to the full is having a life that is fully satisfied. Can we go there? Yes. In other words, it's reaching the height of satisfaction. It's a life free of any major dissatisfaction. Being you to the full means you reach the pinnacle of satisfaction, the pinnacle of joy. And nothing remains for you to accomplish. Being you to the full means, think about it like this, if something is full, then there's no more room for anything else to be placed in.
All right?
All right?
All right.
So we can agree that that's a good broad definition for this, right? But that's a very elusive goal. Man, it really seems like it's tough to grab a hold of that goal because we as humans, think about it, we don't never seem to be satisfied.
All right?
For example, Newsweek published an article in 2007 called Money and Happiness. And in that article, the author points to what appears to be the impossible, elusive goal of a life completely full of joy and satisfaction. A life where someone is being themselves to the full. In a typical survey, this is what he writes. People are asked to rank their sense of well-being or happiness on a scale of 1 to 7. Where 1 means not at all satisfied with life, and 7 means completely satisfied or being themselves to the full. Amen? Of the American millionaires or multimillionaires who responded, the average happiness score was 5.8. Not quite full, even though they got full pockets, they're not quite, you got me? Amen? Now, who else rated themselves 5.8, you might ask? Well, he writes, the Inuit of northern Greenland, who do not exactly lead a life of luxury. Listen, in the cattle herding Maasai of Kenya. So multimillionaires are just as satisfied as people herding cattle in Kenya. Whose dung huts have no electricity or running water, yet they feel themselves just as satisfied as the multimillionaire. Are you seeing where we're going here? Or even slum dwellers in Calcutta. One economic rung above the homeless rate themselves at least a 4.6. The article continues with this eye-opening statement. Let me read this to you. Since World War II, the gross domestic product per capita has tripled in the United States since World War II. What does that mean? That means the amount of stuff we can accumulate has tripled. Yeah. But people's sense of well-being, as measured by surveys asking some variation of this question, overall, how satisfied are you with your life, has barely budged. Even though we've tripled the stuff, our satisfaction hasn't moved an inch. Yeah. As a matter of fact, it goes on to say that although economic output has risen steeply over the past decades, there has been no rise in life satisfaction. So the stuff is accumulating, but the satisfaction in life isn't. And as a matter of fact, it says that there has been an increase, but an increase in depression and grief. So stuff is growing, but satisfaction isn't. As a matter of fact, grief is, and depression is, and distrust is. Today, the average new home size in America hovers around 2,500 square feet. You know where it was in 1950? 1,000. 1,000. Well, wait a second. So we're 2.5 times bigger than we were in 1950, but we raised half the children that we raised in 1950. And we still ain't satisfied. Being you to the full is so elusive because we are always looking for more to fill us up. That's why you can't be you to the full. Because no matter how full you get, you're always looking for more. You aren't you to the full until you have truly grasped the fullest treasure. Yes. And you can't have this treasure until you give your life completely up. That's right. To take on the life of Christ. That's right. Yeah. Anyone who would come after me, let him do what? Deny himself. He who loses my life, loses his life rather for my sake. Gain. Well, gain. So fine. So you can't be you to the full until you've acquired this fullest treasure. Because remember how we defined at the beginning of the sermon, we defined being you to the full as having a life that is fully satisfied. So you can't be you to the full, you can't be fully satisfied until you obtain this treasure that is inexhaustible and you can't find an end to it. It just keeps satisfying you over and over and over and over again. Right? Right? We got that? But you can't have this treasure until you do what? Give your life. So here's what I'm saying. You cannot be you to the full until you are first you to the least. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
You cannot be you to the full until you are you to the least.